Well, I don't know if you have heard. Oh, you there?
Yeah, we're here.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Well, I don't know if you have heard, but there is a situation brewing at my former alma mater.
That's in Tallahassee, right?
Florida State University. And it's happening in the body that I used to be a part of.
The Jewish group?
No, they're involved as far as the alumni, but I used to be a part of the FSU Student Senate. And that's what I thought I was going to be, a politician. You know, I've talked about that in our earlier installments.
It's not too late. Honestly, politics.
Well, I was involved in that. I was in the 49th and the 50th Student Senate. So I did I did 2 years apiece. I think it's 2 years. Actually, I did 4 years, I'm sorry. And before I graduated. And here's what's happening. And this is something for all of us to be praying about. Florida State is a very diverse university. And what happened is they had a person who was the student senate president who was a Catholic conservative. And he spoke out on some issues, okay? And he was removed from office. The Senate president that replaced him, I guess he was probably the Senate president pro tem, the guy who replaced him is a Palestinian national. They have uncovered some very racist and anti-Semitic documents, and it has come out into the public.
Against who? Against
Jewish
people?
Yes,
against
Jewish
black people. Against who?
Jewish people.
Okay.
So now the Jewish community over there at FSU is in an uproar. And the Alumni Association has gotten involved. Okay. And I had some fraternity brothers contact me to let me know what was going on. So I called President John Thrasher's office. I called the Vice President of Student Affairs over there, because what they were asking us to do is to get involved. The students had taken it as far as they can take it. So now there was a meeting this afternoon in which the Alumni Association got John Thrasher. And believe it or not, you know, John Thrasher was born and raised in Jacksonville, and he now lives in St. Augustine, Florida. So there's a connection there.
Sure.
Okay. I just realized that myself, that there's a connection there to my adopted hometown. And so he made a statement. He put out a very generalized statement in which he said the guy make anti-Israel statements, but the Jewish community there said absolutely not. They were anti-Semitic statements. So the association got the president of the university to change his document. So that'll be coming out in the newspaper in the next couple of days, in which you'll see the revised statement by President Thrasher, calling it what it is, not anti-Israel, but bigoted and anti-Semitic. Now they're pushing for his removal from office. Here's the bad thing about this.
Which one's removal? You're talking about the student council president or the vice president?
The Senate president, yeah.
Okay.
The student Senate president. They had a vote on Wednesday night in which he survived the no confidence vote, but what they need to do is impeach him. See, I'm glad I'm not there, because I would have drafted articles of impeachment, and there would have been a Senate trial, of course, and he probably would have been removed, because we were very thorough in the 49th and the 50th Student Senate. And so I'm looking at this stuff going on, and I asked the question, how could this have happened that Senate, when I was there, was so conservative.
Well, now that's been a while. How long?
We're talking about, what was my last term that I served in office? 2002. 'Cause I graduated in 2003. Remember, I was a non-traditional student, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I came in, I did everything late. And so this body that I used to belong to is now, there does not appear to be no wisdom or discernment. I mean, people would get scared when they saw me coming into the Senate chambers with buckets of food, because they're like, oh God, it's going to be a long night. Because I was known for pulling a filibuster. If it was an issue, like there was an issue, and you could find it in the FSU records, where I moved to zero fund the whatever they call themselves.
Now, wait a minute here. I know we're doing your autobiography, but this was almost 20 years ago. And I was in Tallahassee about that time as well.
I'm surprised you didn't hear about this stuff.
Well, at that time, the Episcopal Church is breaking up as well over the same issues.
Right. But I zero funded, and it was all in the FSU flambeau, the FSU.
Really?
Oh, yes.
You did that with a filibuster?
I was going to filibuster them.
I believe it.
I held them for 3 days. And I said, I will sit here far into the night. I was prepared to sit there far into the night. And guess what I read on the Senate floor? War and Peace.
War and Peace? You gotta be kidding me. How far did you get?
Huh?
How far did you get?
Oh, man. I think I got to
200 pages?
About that. 200 or 205, 210, something like that. But I read it in Braille. And
it took a lot longer.
Yes, of course. I had staff members there handing me books. And I said, we will sit here until I get my way. Needless to say, we had to go into negotiations, in which I got, I wanted funding for also the marching chiefs. They were one of my favorites. The athletic department supported the marching chiefs, but I believe that it was the job of the student senate to support.
Is that like the marching band?
Yes.
Oh, good for you, man.
Oh, yes. I always loved it, even when I was in high school, Jack.
I want to show the people my horn right now.
What do you have?
Me?
What kind of horn is that? A trumpet?
No. This is something you'll never find anyplace.
Uh-oh, what is it?
I'm going to show the people here, but you can't see it.
Let's hear it.
It's a plastic J horn.
I have never heard of a J horn. Let me hear it.
You haven't, because it's brand new. Let's see if I can blow the shofar on it. See if there's a mouthpiece in here someplace. Yeah, here's one. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
This is a little thing that weighs about 5 ounces. It's black plastic. It's about 10 inches long.
Is that a piccolo? That almost sounds.
That almost, a lot of practice.
That sounds almost like a tenor sax.
Well, it's very close to that. It's like the cross between a tenor horn and a tenor sax. So your ear is very good.
Well, I'm going to tell you a secret. How do I know about the tenor sax?
You play tenor sax?
I used to play it. I used to play that and alto. You couldn't pay me to play a C, though.
You know what? Those saxophones, they're easy to play. Everyone should play one.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you something. I went to the jazz festival one time. And boy, I came out there and I brought the house down. on the Pink Panther.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I mean, I got an encore. I played it twice.
Why don't you have a sax now?
Because I haven't played in so many years.
What if I get you one of these little J-horn saxes?
Well, we'll see what I can do with it.
Think you can still blow a reed?
Can I do what?
Can you still blow a reed?
Oh yeah. I
You still know how to suck that reed?
Yep, suck that reed, use my tongue. Yep.
You think you can still play a scale on one?
I might be able to. I'm not sure.
Oh, you need one.
Oh yeah, I used to. Oh yeah, I used to. Jack, I mean, I have to see if I can find what you call it of me doing that. But boy, I brought that house down.
Play like a pep band or something like that?
No, I was jazz.
The jazz band?
Yeah, jazz. I was all into that.
I had no idea.
I'm going to tell you another secret. I love big band music. I still listen to big band music. I mean, UK, out of all the genres, I love me some big band music.
Big band music and military band music. I love both of those.
Yes, I love, but boy, I
tell you what, Regesh, you're an old man. That's why. Nobody knows what that stuff is anymore.
Yeah, you said, man, I loved it. I came up on that. I love it. I love jazz music. I don't even like this new jazz. I'm into things like Duke Ellington and things like that.
Yeah. I love Duke Ellington.
So I love that type of stuff. Anything from the 40s and the 30s, 40s, and 50s, I could deal with. And even some of the stuff.
Duke Ellington for you.
You trying to sound like Maynard Ferguson. Oh yeah,
that's the best I can do. That's Black and Tan Fantasy.
Exactly. Well, you have to put a mute in there.
Yeah, I know it.
Uh-huh.
Dan, you could play one of these J-horn saxes just for fun.
Yeah.
See what you do with it.
Okay, I might be able to do that, but I love that, and I love symphonic music too.
I'm wondering what you might say to some of the people that have listened to your last 3 episodes. I think there's been 3. And there's been a lot of hits on that.
Oh yeah, what do they think? What are they saying about it?
Well, there's no comments much, but the point I'm saying is they actually go out there, click on them, listen to them to some extent, and every one of them. There are probably 200-300 already, and it's only been a month.
Wow. Well, here's what I would say. I hope that what I am doing is to give you a piece of my life, kind of to let you know where I come from, who I am, where I come from, some of the struggles that I have had. Because it's a two-strain thing. You got me, some of my experience in dealing with the Klan, the Civil Rights Movement, how I was raised. Then you have the other thing about the decision that I had to make with regards to leaving the Hebraic roots community and taking on a Orthodox Christian, deal, taking vows and going through incarnation and stuff like that. I just
can't see you with a fish on your head yet. I've tried.
It's coming. It's coming. They're probably
no.
It's coming. They've already got the miter, by the way, and they've already measured me for the miter, so they have the miter already.
So what are you going to say about that, and where it comes from? From Dagon, from the fish god. Is that right or is that wrong?
I personally think it's wrong, because these things, as we've been talking, some of them come from the Roman Empire. But I think that a lot of them come from early 1st century where?
Well, actually, you're right.
What's that?
And some of it does come from first century wear. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
even the ephod, not the ephod, the mitre on your head.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm
Yes.
not sure whether it is an imitation of the Roman, so many different gods and their priests.
Right,
I'll
right.
have to look into that some more.
Yeah, that's definitely something to look into, because I don't know that the some of these bodies of believers, and this is what I believe happened to the Orthodox Christian Church and the even the Catholic Church, that these, you want to take that alb and you want to follow that alb, and that's what I did. I didn't tell anybody what I was doing, but I was taking that alb because that really moved me. And I'm like,
You didn't even tell me about it, and I'm the one that told you about it. But you couldn't believe anybody would be preaching in that. Or that was an
exactly.
early thing.
Exactly. And I'm like, I want to follow that alb. And then when I go to the New York Patriarch, he wears an alb under that, under his vestments. And I'm going to ask him,
Of course.
I said, do you realize where this comes from, Your Holiness?
Did he?
I haven't met him yet. I haven't met him yet.
Well,
He
I
didn't
know
say
where
it.
it comes from. Tell
I
me
do
where you
too.
think it comes from.
Huh?
Tell me where you think it comes from.
I believe that was the garment of the Essenes.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and
And
that's
the early Christians. They wore the
exactly.
white linen.
Exactly. That's what I want to see, because if you do your homework on the Orthodox Christian Church, you look at their format and look at where Rome went wrong, and look at where they are. They don't have, all of their bodies are run by patriarchates, okay? And they have their own synods, like the one that with the American church here. It's under a New York patriarchate, and it has a synod, which I will be technically I am already a part of. Okay, I don't go to meetings because those meetings are done in person. Okay.
Yeah.
And so the point is that there's a connection, and that's the connection that I followed. I would have known about that album if I had not come to the Yahad. I've been seeing these people in this. I've been seeing these people in you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Because
we're finally getting a little credit out of this. I've been telling this guy all this stuff for so long.
Exactly.
All of a sudden he gets a hold of it.
Exactly. Well, see, I'm a guy that, and this too. Okay. When I started in Hebrew Roots, I dropped the cross off. I dropped anything of church off.
You shouldn't drop the cross off.
Well, I did, but I picked it up after 20 years. A couple of weeks ago, I put this cross on my chest, back on, after 20 years. Okay. And somebody was at my house, and they was looking, I was sitting there with this cross on. And of course, I still have my Star David. Sometimes I wear both of them. And there's nothing to fear from wearing the cross and wearing the Star of David. I wear them both. There's nothing to fear anymore. And I used to be that way. I used to be anything Christian had to go. But when I came into the Yahad, you guys kind of gave us permission to feel free enough.
Well, we certainly had a lot of persecution over that, didn't we?
Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely. But we had to feel free enough to take some of these things back on. And that's where we learned about the album. That's where I started following it. I'm like, okay, if this album is here, where does it go? Okay, you start looking at the Catholics and oh gosh, I don't want to go there. So the Catholics got it. Then you start.
The album goes back to James the Just.
Exactly the point.
With tzitzit.
Exactly. And so it's like all of these officers are wearing these things. And I'm like, do they know what they are wearing? They don't have any idea, which means that this stuff went into Christianity, it went into Islam as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm like, when I started kind of, I guess, getting disillusioned with Hebrew roots because I saw that the fruit wasn't bearing out, I'm like, where do I go now? After 20 years, what do I do? I'm like, I'm going to places that I can't serve. What do I do? And so I found a place where I could go and serve as a single person because I saw what my impediment was, I believe, is that I was single. And this is a big deal in HR. If you don't have a family,
Yeah, right.
you are in big trouble. If you're not married, you're in big trouble. So every time you would say something, these guys would look at you like you don't have a right to say anything to me because you don't have a measure of worth.
They think that such people ought to be in the rabbinic tradition, which is not right.
What do you mean in the rabbinic
In
tradition?
the rabbinic tradition, it was a rabbinic thing that a rabbi needs to be married and have a family and all that.
Right, and that's where they got it from. That's where they got it from.
Absolutely right, and that's not a correct progression.
No, it's not, and that's why. And so I'm like, listen, I really finally sat down and realized, I'm like, they're not going to let you serve at all. Doesn't matter whether you're an elder, doesn't matter whether you're a bishop, they're going to fight you every step that you try to take. Anything good that you try to do, they're going to come after and destroy because they don't see you as having a measure of worth. That was a tough thing for me to accept.
Of course.
That was a tough thing for me to accept. And I finally accepted and realized, okay, I'm like, okay, so where am I supposed to go? I can't stay here.
You're supposed to be the conga player for a little organization someplace. Just pound on those drums.
Yeah, pound on the drums and just hope that,
a token black person in there.
And hope that God have mercy on you and let you in the kingdom. And so I realized,
that's what I saw, and I've said this each time.
Right.
It's important to continue to remind people that that's exactly what you were not that long ago.
Exactly. Just sitting there playing the congas and existing off of the goodness and the mercy of some Jewish family.
Yeah. Now let me ask you another question. Is this the American Orthodox Catholic Church you are going to, or is it?
Yes, that's it.
Okay, good. I've got it up here. I just wanted to make sure it was right because there's an AOCC and an AOC and about 1,000 other AO somethings.
And they're all tied together in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, right.
They're all tied together in some way, shape, or form, and they all know each other. So it is one of those things where it's the only place that I know of that a single people could come, a single person, because they do have singles and married bishops. And
are you soliciting for the AOCC to find some new church planners and people that can run a small assembly and get things going?
Well, I'm looking at it. I've been talking to some bishops about how you do it, because what I want to do is I want to build an assembly. But I don't want to build it in my house. That's not the place.
No.
I know during you never know. We may have to end up going back to something like that as these times get worse.
The problem is you've got people that will look at you as they'll look at you too personally, and they will look.
That's correct.
In your life,
exactly,
whether it is or not.
Exactly, I understand. And that was the bad. And that was
the thing.
A
fart during the sermon, and he's not fit to.
Right, exactly, because they're already looking at my weight and like as we said before, they're probably even looking at some of my color, and other defects like my disability and things like that. But
we all have them. The point is that some people, especially in these days, they have certain prejudices that.
Yes.
perhaps they didn't have. One is weight, just like you said. The other is
Mhm.
color, which isn't as much as weight, I don't think.
No, I don't. Well, the weight is the biggest thing for. See, in the Hebrew roots, a lot of people have what I would call Seventh Day Adventists, Jehovah Witness,
Vegetarian kind of idea.
and yeah, those type of people. These are the type of people that you're getting, and they believe that it's a sin for me to be overweight.
Yeah, if
They
you're
believe
not
that it's a,
skinny, you must be in sin, whatever that sin is.
exactly. And so they believe that people, but see, I come from a background where, look, the bishops, they ate healthily. And so they're like, that was a problem. That is a problem for a lot of people. And then blindness is I think is the number one thing. Blindness, being single, being overweight, and being African American is those things in that order are the issues with being able to effectively lead in anything like this. And so, go ahead.
Blindness is one that people kind of think, well, what can he do?
Well, the thing is, I think that a lot of people, especially in some of these places, they equate blindness with mental retardation. Never mind the fact that I have 2 degrees from the Florida State University. Blindness is akin to retardation. And so they think that something must be wrong with you, or God must be punishing you or your parents for something that you did for you to end up this way. Because it's not God's will for you to be blind.
That's
Why aren't you healed?
ridiculous.
But it's true. It's there, and it's true. So I just finally realized, I'm like, I've had it up to here. I'm done. I'm going to go where I can actually serve as a single person, as somebody that the robes are so heavy, you're not going to see how fat I am. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that some people, and I've worn robes, but some churches don't have air conditioning, and they just wear their underpants under robes.
Well, there's a joke about that. I said, one of the bishops made a joke, say, yeah, well, we're going to be doing the divine liturgy. There's no air conditioning. I said, I dare you. I said, I'll have on shorts under my robes and a t-shirt. I'm telling you, I sure will.
I guess it would be pretty hard to figure somebody that had an alb on or whatever on, and then they didn't have anything under.
Right.
But
well, I don't know that you can get away with that stuff that I have. That stuff is heavy. That stuff is heavy.
It is.
Yes, it is heavy. The rocket is heavy. The shamir is heavy. The lightest thing is the cassock, and that's heavy. So I'm not. I'm like, y'all better have some air conditioning. Don't let me come all the way to New York and walk down the aisle in that chapel and it be hot.
Maybe I'll take a look here and see if I can find a decent image so people can understand what we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking through the images now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's one of an Anglican bunch right here, and I'll just put my screen share on for a minute just to show it, because it's heavy, all right.
Mm-hmm.
I carry you.
There you go.
Watching this, take a look at the large picture up in the top left.
What is he wearing?
And there are no bishops here, I don't think. He's wearing the one on the right's wearing an alb with a stole. I don't know what's under it, but the stole is
he's wearing a dalmatic.
All different colors.
Uh-huh.
And there's one next that has like a double tie on with a black robe and a stole with all kinds of colors.
What color is the tie? That's the tippet.
White.
It's white. That's probably a deacon.
Yeah, I was going to think.
Or actually, it could be a priest too.
And then there's a couple guys with white robes on with black stoles.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a guy with a black clerical collar and alb. with a big cross in the middle. It's all black. Maybe he's a priest.
Yeah, he probably is. He could be a bishop too.
Now we got a bishop here. He's a black guy. He's got the I can't remember what it's called, the cane, the
crozier.
Crozier. Yes, and he's got the mitre with, it's red with Iota, Eta, Simcha on it, Jesus, and then he's got a stole with bells on it. Well, the bells are going around him, and his alb is white, variegated. Along his stole, all the way down, the red stole is, well, what most people would say is IHS, but I would say Iota, Eta, Sigma.
Yes, that's correct.
First three letters of Christos in Greek. So I wish you could see this. He's really dressed to the hilt.
And what is he, tall?
Very tall, and of course,
thin.
The thing on his head makes him look real tall.
Is he not skinny, but is he lean?
Well, let me tell you, he's of the Anglican Orthodox. Let's see what his name is. I'm going to look right now. You might know him. Oh, it's the bishop of the Diocese of Ogun.
Ogun.
In Africa. Have you heard of that one?
Yes.
Okay.
Elijah Ubansu?
It's in Nigeria, and it doesn't give his name.
I bet you that's Elijah Ubansu.
Probably. He's a big guy.
Well, I'm going to see him next July.
Give me a break. And there are pictures of ordination ceremonies on here with various different deacons, elders, bishops, archbishops here. You could tell from their costumes. And let's see, His Grace, Right Reverend Solomon Adewumi, Diocesan Bishop of Ogun.
Yep.
I can't tell whether he's the same guy or not, but he's in green this time.
Right.
Very colorful.
Yes. Yes, he's probably in the Western Rite if he's wearing green. That's funny. I have to get used to that, His Grace. I mean, every time I hear His Grace, I want to go, yeah.
Can you use His favor or something a little different?
I don't think so. I think that they're very specific about what you call a bishop, what you call a priest, what you call a archbishop, and how you address the patriarch. They're very specific about that.
Can you just call him brother? Can you get away with that?
I think you could get away with that in private, but you ain't getting away with that in public.
Oh, it's like we are let me see, how can I say this? We are showing our appreciation or our
respect.
Yeah, for the next point higher. So what if you go into this, I say if, what am I to call you? You and I being
you better call me brother,
all
man.
this time together.
You better call me brother or bishop, and let that be that. I'm not having all this, your grace.
Now, your high holiness, right?
Oh God, no, gosh, no.
Okay.
And they do call you right reverend so and so. I'm like, oh gosh.
Oh,
those things, that stuff makes me nauseous.
You and I will just be friends and brothers.
Exactly. But like when I first met the patriarch, I seen him online, and he was doing something, and I addressed him as Your Holiness. To stay out of trouble.
Wow.
And the reason why I did that is because that's one, that's what you're supposed to do. Two, I don't know that man.
Yeah, you don't know if he's holy or not. You've always been a person that looked at persons on their own merit.
Right, exactly. And no, it's and also all those people was around there. I mean, the first thing you go, I mean, you go, hey, Dr. Willingham, well, that's the end of you.
So Willingham, he's the head of this, right? I see him
Mhm.
on the website.
That's him.
Where's he located?
He's in New York.
New York.
So when I go to see him, I have to go to New York.
When you going to New York?
It'll probably be next year.
July sometime?
So I'll go see him. And he seems pretty nice. Like I said, he seems like a nice man.
I want to come up for that. If you're going to be ordained in that, of course, I want to be there.
Well, I wonder how they do consecrations, because I don't know whether consecrations are open. They should be.
Well, they mostly are that I've seen in the past for relatives and friends anyway.
Right, because I noticed that what you call to say they did him at a monastery.
Well, look, just remember, I want to come.
Okay.
I've had some input into your direction in the past
Exactly.
7 years. Okay, I would love to come and just to support you in that.
Okay, that's fine. Well, we should get we should get we should drag MJ in chains. No, I'm kidding. That's all we need.
I don't know about that. I mean, most
people
I think that listen
way.
to this don't know who MJ is.
That's why I said it that way.
Unless
So
you
that they don't.
You might want to call him the Aramic. Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. We could drag him up there so that he could be part of this. No, I'm not doing
nothing. Stand up
like
with you.
No, gosh, no, no.
I supported this guy for 11 years.
And I gave him this and that.
Gave him everything he had.
Yeah, exactly. I know, but it's so we're gonna go through that probably in July. I'm still going through my studies and stuff like that. I'm almost through, but I'm not there yet.
What do your studies look like?
What do they look like? They're basically stuff that almost look like a seminary course. They want to see what they want to see, because what they did is they took me in as a bishop already. Okay. They took me in as a bishop. And so when they have they're going to have a meeting, and I'm going to go to the conference, and so I'll go and sit down there as a bishop, but later on that week, then I'll go through the consecration.
Well, how can you start assemblies or an assembly if you're a bishop? Doesn't that require an elder, or maybe not?
It does. It does require an elder. What I want to do.
I know what you're going to do.
What I'm going to do?
You're going to suit up elder state.
One.
That place.
I'm going to suit up. Well, he's going to go through the process as well, but he'll go through the process after I go through it. My process is going to take 2 days, and then I'll go through that process, and then we're going to turn around and we're going to do governor. But I want to ordain governor, 3 more priests, and I want to ordain 4 deacons, because I really do want to start an assembly, a church.
Well, yes, you want to start not only an assembly, but you want to start a downline.
That's correct. And so what I want to do is I want to build one here. I want to get a building, and what I want to do is I'm going to just ask the question: who's the most influential person here in Cleveland, Tennessee? I want to talk.
Would it be the mayor? Yeah, I look into that a little bit after the last time.
Yeah, I don't know who it is, but the Father's going to show me. I'm going to find somebody that's been here for a long time, and I'm going to ask them who's the most influential person in Cleveland. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have a church service, and we're going to start getting these people involved. Now, what I want to do is I want to do 2 services. I want to do one on Shabbat, and then I want to do the Divine Liturgy on the Lord's Day, which is Sunday mornings. And so some people say, well, you compromise and you go on, you did. No, I'm not compromising, because this is what the early disciples did. Okay. And so I want to really dig into this, and I really want to dig into putting together. I'm looking in the Anglican and Catholic lectionaries, putting things together, and I was doing a little bit of that today, because I think that this is something that we should have been doing if we were going to build assemblies. And I was trying to build an assembly from people and things that you already knew, which is Hebrew roots.
Well, of course.
Go ahead.
There's a certain way that this can be done that's been tried and true. And, well, I won't go into it, but I know what it is, and they're probably going to give you the same thing. And what it's going to mean is you going out and convincing families to be a part of it. You know, I've been a part of several church starts, not only my own, but also in the Anglican Church. I have been a part of about 4 there. And so what I'm saying is you have to get the recruiting done before you can really do anything.
That's correct. And that's what it sounds like to me too. See, I think the way we were thinking about this at first, we were thinking about this in a very Hebrew rootish fashion. You get one person, you sit there, and everybody's just supposed to come to you. It don't work that way.
No.
Now, it might work that way for Moshe Konachowski, it might work that way for Steve Berkser, but in truth, they didn't work that way for them.
No.
They had to work. Everything that those guys have, they worked for.
Unless you got a huge family.
Exactly.
Some of the ones that I know had huge families, and they set up their church in a family center. And of course, they had their 12 couples, their 12 families to support.
Exactly. It doesn't work that way, especially, and poor me and Governor, you know, we were trying to do this that way, not that way, but we were trying to do it well. We figured, well, you just have service and now put something online and people will come. That didn't happen.
Open the door, they won't come anymore. But look, you might be able to get the black shears in.
Gosh, good luck with that.
Going back to the first session.
Good luck with that. But I'm looking to get a mixed crowd. And, I think that we've learned a lot through this process. If you think you're going to build an assembly with just your little peon personality, it don't work that way. It don't work that way. Especially if you got a lot to overcome. See, me and Governor are starting out in the hole already. You're starting down 3 strikes. You got, you're starting out with you're black, you're blind, and you're single. You're already starting out three strikes in the hole. Okay?
Yeah.
And so we had to really work. And, at first we didn't understand why it wasn't working. Why it is that, the first time when we had a lot of people over, we allowed our blindness is what hurt us, because we brought those people over, and then, we would do the liturgy. I'm like, hello.
It was a great service.
How are you going to do the liturgy if nobody could participate?
I think it had a lot to do with people that just thought, I don't want to get involved in a start. I've got something here or there. I'm not willing to step out. And that's the way pretty much not only the Hebrew Roots movement, but the Christian movement is. They don't want to step out. So you're going to find new strategies.
Yeah, you definitely do. New strategies, new people. because what you'll end up doing is recycling the same Hebrew roots people.
Right.
And see, Hebrew roots people are good to go and visit. They will go and visit places, but they don't want to commit to nothing. Okay, and that's the thing that we had to learn.
Well, go out to my site about starting a new assembly and see what's there. It's got
Yeah,
very.
I definitely look at it
I'll
because it's
send you a link.
necessary.
But my brother, it's time for us to go. Our time is up.
Okay.
And
But before we go,
do you want to do another episode?
yeah, that's fine. We could do another episode. What do you want to talk about next?
Let me think about it because there's plenty to think of.
Okay. Well, just let me know, and we can get that going. We can be sure to go to www. No, I'm not going to give you that. Be sure to send me an email at Bishop Regesh, BISHOPREGESH @gmail.com.
Right.
And also, don't forget that we have services on Shabbat. During the summer months, we have services at 4:30 p.m. During the winter months, we have services at 3 p.m. And we're still doing those things. We haven't stopped. So if you're in the local area or if you want to contribute, please feel free to do that. You can do that using that email address right there by going on PayPal. Also, we are going to just a little praise report. We have been raising money for our trip up north next summer. And when we first started this project, we looked at the bill and it was going to be like $3,500. Well, guess what? The bill just came down to $2,500 because the Father was able to allow us to get some of the big things knocked out. Now the only thing that we need to take care of is food and travel and lodging.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about $2,500. And once we take care of that, we're set.
Well, I want to be part of that too. So,
well, help me raise some money.
What I'm going to send you, brother.
Huh?
But anyway, well, you're also preaching most of the services that we have online at
Absolutely.
11
11 a.m.
at www.yahpod.com through Zoom.
That's correct.
Okay, who's preaching this week?
This week it's Governor.
I knew that.
Yeah,
Governor
this week is
your partner.
Yes, he will be preaching this week.
Okay, brother.
He'll be doing a homily. So
thank you very much. And
anytime.
Back next week again.
All right.
Thumbs up.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, you all.